Hi, I'm Michael, and today I want to talk to you about writing and updating articles. We're doing a workshop here on keeping Firefox documentation all up to date. So previously we've researched all the things that are changing in Firefox, and then we've gone through those changes and determined which ones need documentation and like what articles need to be updated, or do we need a new article, that kind of stuff. Now we're gonna get down to writing. So before we actually start though, I want to tell you about all of the existing documentation about documentation. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is the starting place. This is an article called Improve the Knowledge Base. There's a video on here by me. Basically, I'm just saying, I will answer your questions. Here's how to email me, contact me on IRC, let's do a video chat, whatever, right? Just, so that's me. Okay. And then there's a special thing here for getting started. There's more documentation down here, like, woo, all these documents. But this is the basics right here. So I do want to show you, for instance, anatomy of a knowledge base article. This one also has a video that explains how the article works, but basically it shows you how our wiki system works. We use templates. We use special markup to show instructions for Windows users and a different set of instructions for Mac users. So the article is written in a way to explain that and show you code examples. What does that look like? There is another article. It's linked right here. Create a new knowledge base article. This is for when you are creating a brand new one from scratch. There's some of that to do in this documentation cycle. So this article takes you step by step through that process, and it includes some sample wiki markup. You probably will not use all of this markup. You might use some different markup, but this is like some common markup for a basic article, or some of the things that you might include in an article. There is a markup cheat sheet. This is not the complete list of wiki markup that we have, but this is the most common stuff. This is the stuff that, it's common stuff. How many times do I need to repeat that? Okay. And then there's one more piece of documentation that I want to show you, and just so you know where it's down here. It's part of this bigger list of documentation. It's called How to Write Knowledge Base Articles. This one is less about the technical aspects, the markup, and how to do instructions for Windows users or Android users, all of that kind of stuff. This is more about the style. How do we be friendly? How do we be concise? How do we do step-by-step instructions so that they make sense? That kind of stuff. So it's all the stylistic things, how to pick a title, how to write an introduction, how to do a search summary, all of those kinds of things. How to organize your article, that's all in here. Okay. So that's where everything is. Oh my God, I just took up like a ton of time. Let's go work on an article. So one of the things that we saw that we had to change in Firefox 19 was that this menu in the Facebook Messenger for Firefox feature changed. So we added the ability to add Facebook like as a sidebar with chat and the ticker and all of that in Firefox 17. And there's a little menu. You can see a picture of it right here. This is me logged in. It said show sidebar and show desktop notifications. Now, that's all that was in there in 17 and 18. In 19, it changes. So in 19, well, I had a picture of it here somewhere. Anyway, in 19, there's some extra stuff in that menu that we need to document. And it all has to do with turning the feature off. So before, to turn it off, you could toggle the show sidebar, and that would collapse the sidebar. But it would leave the little like friends and messages and other notification icons up there in your toolbar, and they would get notifications. So in order to not get those notifications, like you're trying to work and not be distracted, you would also have to log out of Messenger, right? And that would leave you like this. Oh, I am using Firefox 19. It would leave you with a little, just a little a little Facebook icon in the toolbar. Okay, so now in 19, what's different is, let me turn this back on. So it's logging me in here. In 19, what's different is now I can just turn off Facebook Messenger. If I turn it off, it does both things. Well, it's not actually logging me out of Facebook this time, but it's going to take away these notifications, so I'm not bothered by it. It accomplishes the same thing but easier. You don't have to log back in next time. So I can just turn it off. Now it's just down to a little Facebook icon. Problem solved. And I can turn it back on, and I don't have to log back in, and it comes back on. So that's cooler. So this section of the article, this part right here about turning it off, we're going to change that for Firefox 19 and greater. We're going to leave it the same for Firefox 17 and for Firefox 18. If you visit this article using Firefox 16 or lower, we show you a little message that say, hey, this feature only works in Firefox 17 and greater. That kind of thing. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this off for now. And we're not gonna worry about pictures, screenshots. That's a whole nother deal. Our articles are written to work without screenshots. So we describe things in words so that if they get localized into, into another language, into Italian or German or French or, Chinese, we'll describe the buttons, describe the position of things, because these screenshots that I've made are in English. And maybe a localizer doesn't have time or the resources to take new screenshots in another language. They can just omit the English screenshots because they may be confusing. I know for me, when I look at screenshots of Firefox in Chinese, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I mean, it's the same but different, right? Okay, so let me see. I'm gonna turn this off. So let's edit this article. So we'll get started, right? Okay, come up here, click on the editing tools. I'm gonna edit the article. Now, let me just look for the place that I wanna change. So here's the editor. It was on the part about turning off, right? So I go down here, turn off Messenger for Firefox, right? This part about completely disabling, that's still there, that didn't change, it's just the turn off part, right? So you no longer have to hide the sidebar and then log in and out, okay? So we are going to wrap this section we're gonna use our for markup. This is for Firefox 17 and 18. We're gonna say these instructions, this is for Firefox 17 and 18, then we're gonna make a new section that says for Firefox 19 and greater, these are the instructions. I'm gonna add a for statement here. I'm gonna do curly brace, for equals fx17, comma, equals fx18, and I'm going to close the curly brace. Now, our little code editor completed the for tag for me. It also thought maybe I was typing a headline, and it started putting those, because the equal is also for an H1, it thought maybe I was writing a headline. So I'm just going to delete all of that. And at the bottom here, I'm going to add that closing. I'm going to re-add that closing for tag. So that's curly brace / for, close the curly brace. Again, the code editor does these things, which are very helpful for when you are writing a new article. Sometimes when you are updating an article, it could be a little bit goofy. Okay, so I just want to test that right now. So let's take a look. So I'm going to go down here to preview content. Now, right over here, this says this article is for Windows 7 and Vista and Firefox 18. Firefox 18, we should be able to see that section, right? So I'm going down here. I mean, you can see here, turn off Messenger for Firefox, show how the sidebar, log in or out of Messenger, right? The table of contents is still intact. So let's go down and look, right? That part of the article is still there. If we do Firefox 17, still there. What if I do Firefox 19? It totally disappears, right? Now it just says turn off Messenger for Firefox. Got some work to get done. Here's how to temporarily turn things off. And then there's no instructions. So we got to add some instructions. So let's go back up here. Okay. So now let's add the section for Firefox 19. So now I'll do a for Firefox 19, and I'll close the for. Now the autocomplete in the text editor is just right. That's what we want. So just so you know how the for markup works, if you say equals 17, equals 18, it's only for those. If you say, take out the equals, so it's in this case FX19, that means 19 and greater, okay? So in between those two, I'm gonna put the new instructions, right? So we're gonna do this. To turn off Messenger for Firefox, we're gonna copy some of these same instructions. We're just gonna alter them. Okay. We are gonna say right here, I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna stick that in here. So click the Facebook button. This puts a styling of, a button styling around the word Facebook in the toolbar, and select the menu item. This now it says show sidebar. Here, right, it is, let's look and double check. What does it say? It says turn off Facebook Messenger. So, and select the menu, turn off Facebook Messenger. So it reads, click the Facebook button in the toolbar and select turn off Facebook Messenger. Let's say to turn the site to, because we're not toggling with that one command because it's a slightly different word to turn it back on, to turn the sidebar off. Okay, so let's preview that, make sure that works. So I'll hit preview content. So we're looking at this for Firefox 19. Now it has a section, turn off Messenger for Firefox. It doesn't have subsections. Turn off Messenger for Firefox. Got some work to get done. Got to get some work done. I can't read and do a video at the same time. Here's how to temporarily turn things off. Click the Facebook button in the toolbar and select turn off Facebook Messenger to turn the sidebar off. Actually, that would be better worded. To turn the sidebar off, click the Facebook button in the toolbar and select Turn Off Facebook Messenger. That way, did you hear that plane go by my house? If you say it this new way, it's more active. You are turning it off, right? So let's go back up and make that change. And we'll say, to turn off the sidebar, click the Facebook button in the toolbar and select Turn Off Facebook Messenger, period. Take that out. Okay. Let's preview. I do this all the time just to make sure, over and over again. To turn off the sidebar, click the Facebook button in the toolbar and select Turn Off Facebook Messenger. That's pretty much it, right? Now, we should put a note. How do you turn it back on, right? So we're gonna turn off Facebook Messenger. Later, you might wanna turn this back on. And so we can add that other step. So let's do that. So we'll do that as a note because it's not actually part of this step, right? This step is to turn it off. Most people are gonna figure out how to turn it back on. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just in case, we'll add a note. So let's do the note styling. Note, now see, it completes the tag for me. And I'm gonna make it bold. Note, that's the wiki markup for bold. Note, to turn the sidebar back on. We're gonna do the same thing. It's the same step. So I'm gonna paste. But this time it is turn on Facebook Messenger. And let's preview that. Right, so turn off Facebook to turn off Messenger for Firefox. To turn off the sidebar, click the Facebook button in the toolbar and select Turn Off Facebook Messenger. Note, to turn the sidebar back on, click the Facebook button in the toolbar and select Turn On Facebook Messenger. Man, that's about as unambiguous as you can get. It's two things. That's all. Okay, so that's much easier than 17 and 18. We'll worry about a screenshot another time, right? So once that's done, we've made our changes. We can preview what text has changed. If you want to make sure, what all did I change? We added plus the 17 and 18 for markup around the old section, and then we added a new section, which is for Firefox 19 and greater, and we added the step and the note, and that's all we did. Okay, so once we're done, we can submit this for a review. So I click submit, and now I've got to describe what I did. This is for the reviewer. Let the reviewer know what are we looking at here. So, I can't talk and type. Let me just type this. Okay, so I added a note. I click submit. Ta-da! Now, my revision is here waiting to be reviewed by a reviewer. It'll show up in the items needing to be reviewed. If let me show you where that is. If I look on here on the knowledge base dashboard, under unreviewed changes, I'm going to do most recent, and you can see that I just changed this one 25 seconds ago, right? So that's the very, very basics of updating an article. Again, if you have questions, put them in the workshop thread that goes with this video, or you can ask me, although really it's best, I mean, when you're editing, if you have questions, you can ask me, but if you have questions about this whole process, please put them in the thread that goes with this video so that I can answer those questions for everybody. Then everybody will know, and maybe it'll point to something else, that another question that somebody has. This way we can get this all out, and the next time we do this workshop, it'll be that much better for the next group of participants. So I know this was a long video. Thank you, and see you on the next one.